Welcome to Bigs and Minis. In this tutorial I'm gonna show you the steps I follow to paint my Nighthaunt in a bloody style with weathered metals due to the pass of time. This is not a guide to paint a miniature worthy of winning a paint competition. Its goal is to achieve a cool result in little time and with few paints. Even though most of the paint job is done with an airbrush, you can follow the guide with a brush, using glazes with diluted paint to achieve a smooth blend. First of all, we use a Stirland matte on the base. Not only we add some texture to the surface with that, but we can use it to seal those little gaps between the mini and the base. Once it is dry, we coat the bases with white. I'm using Corax white spray, but any other white that isn't too bright will do the job too. Now that the models are primed, we are gonna use the airbrush. This step is the shortest, and the one in which we do most of the paint job. The paints I use here are Khaki, Ivory and Cavalry brown from Vallejo, but any similar paint can be used instead of those. We just need a brown color, a reddish brown or browny red, and a white brighter than the one we use to prime the ghost. First we apply the Khaki on the inner parts of the fabric and in the intersection of the ropes. If we spray some little lots of paint like this, worry not. It will help to get the feeling that these guys are wearing dirty clothes. Next we will apply the reddish tone to the bottom of the fabric at the very end of the ropes. We shall also use this color to paint the candles and the fire on top of the base. Lastly, we apply the white painter, or the ivory one, on the top of the mini, where light will naturally hit. We will highlight the other raised areas later. Once we have done this, the model will be almost completed, and we won't use the airbrush anymore. Now we will highlight the fabric, paint the details and finish the base, and for this we will use our trusty brush. In order to highlight the ropes we will use Ulthuan grey, but any other white, brighter than the ivory, will do too. We apply it to the edges where the cloth is white, and lightly so where it is painted with khaki, but don't do it where the cloth is red. We will dilute it and use it on top of the folds. In the red zone we will use two shades. First of all we apply Carroburg Crimson, a red shade, to increase the color intensity. We must be careful not to paint it directly onto the intersection with the khaki, cause we can ruin the effect. Then we apply Nuln oil, a black shade, to the far bottom of the red cloth, in order to darken it and strengthen the shadows. We will use the bone color to paint the arms and skulls of the ghost. We could use Ushabti bone, for example. We will leave them like this for now and apply the blood paint once we have painted the rest of the miniature, in order to avoid staining it. Once we have done that, we gotta paint the other details. We use the brown color to paint the wood. We paint the weapons and chains with silver. We use a gold color to paint the hilt of the swords and the chandelier. And then we apply a grey color to the tombstones. To weather the metals we are gonna use a special mix. We shall mix Agrax Earthshade, brown shade, with some Vallejo pigment, dark red ochre. We apply the mix over all the silver surfaces, controlling the amount we put until we are satisfied. When it comes to the golden details we start using pure Agrax, just to add some depth, and then we use Nihilak Oxide, a turquoise color, in a few spots just to make it clear that it is rusted. Once it is done, we can finally apply blood for the blood god over the bone details. For the top of the base we are gonna prime it with Ulthuan grey and then use Magus purple, a Citadel contrast, to darken it, just to apply Druchii violet afterwards. Finally we dry brush the base with a bright lilac or grey, like Longbeard grey. To darken the tombstone we use Agrax once again and reapply the same grey at the edges to highlight it, so it doesn't end being too bright. To highlight the metals we use the brightest silver. I have used Runefang silver. Just don't paint all the edges, cause we don't want it to be too bright either. Nonetheless we can apply some scratches on random dots over the biggest surfaces. To highlight the candles with the same color mixed with a little amount of white. We prime the fire with white and give it a Magus purple wash, highlighting it afterwards with a brighter lilac. To finish the model, we paint the base edge black. And with that done, we have finished our Nighthaunt with a sinister and dirty look. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have found it helpful, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. See ya!